All right, so I created a video a couple of years ago about WoW private servers. I actually created quite a few videos, but especially then my audio wasn't horrible. Hopefully this audio is much better. It sounds better in my headset. That's why I'm wearing it as a monitor. I don't think I did last time, so that's probably why. Anyway, so I recorded a video then on how to create items inside of Wrath of the Lich King private servers. And I'm going to do the same thing here, but it's a little bit different now. It's really pretty much easier. And the repacks are so much easier to do now too. So I'm not even going to go over that in this video. Basically, you download it, extract it. In this program, in this repack, you just double click on the control panel. Start MySQL, start auth, start world. Create an account and you're done. So we're not even going to go over that. That's pretty much how you do it. So what we want to do though is create items. So the first thing you need to do after you get all the programs, Trinity Creator, DBCUtil, mpqeditor, Notepad++, you'll like it better than Notepad, trust me, and Heidi SQL, I think that's all of them. My DBCUtil too. I don't remember why we needed that. Yeah, I didn't use this. I just used this as CSV editor. So after you got everything installed, you need to make a backup. The first backup you want to make is of the items database. So you go into your repack directory. And in this case, you want to go into data, DBC, find the item DBC, right click copy, find a place to put it. I just made a backup directory and paste. That's your backup. Don't mess with that directory anymore. In case you break something, that's where you go to put it back. In fact, I broke something just right before I recorded this video, so I put it back. I even have a second backup here in case I break it twice. I honestly have a third and a fourth backup, but we didn't want to talk about that. So you got that done. The next thing you need to do is get your database information. You can find that. It's usually under, it really depends on which repack you're using, but in 3 different repacks I've used in the past couple months, it's all been under core or server. In this case, it's core. There's an auth server or auth.conf, one of the two usually. Open that up. And with Trinity Core, by default, it'll be right around line 200. You see where it says MySQL settings? That's what you're looking for. In this case, I think it's line 210. 191 is where that starts. And you want to look in for login database info. Now here, it'll tell you the host name or host IP, which is 127.0.0.1, which is localhost. The port number, 3306. Different repacks use different port numbers. Usually it's 3306 or 3310 from the few repacks I've used. The username is root, and the password is ascend. Now the database, okay, we'll come to that in a minute. So you got that information there. Now open up Trinity Core. Open up Trinity Core. There it is. Go to config. Configure. Before we get to Trinity Core, make sure your MySQL server started. This repack, you can see just here, started the MySQL server. Okay, so you go to config, configure MySQL. Make sure this IP matches, or the host name matches, the port matches, the username root matches, and the password ascend. The world database is almost always world, but there are a few repacks that do it differently. If you're one of those repacks that does it differently, you'll have to look at the documentation for the repack or go into the database itself using the same information. Now, I'm not going to go over that, but as you watch this video, you'll probably see how. So I'll forget to tell you. Okay, so once you get that, just save. It'll tell you if it's fine. then just close. Next, you got to pick the DBC. So you config DBC path. And we're done with that. DBC path is your repack directory. It's usually data and DBC. So we're going to go ahead and browse for that. Data DBC. And save. And now we're all configured. Now we can actually start creating our item. So we'll just maximize this. And we're going to call this, I created something else earlier and it failed horribly, and I don't want to use that same name again. Mudkips. I love mudkips. Some of you will get that reference. Quality, we'll do artifact, or no, we'll just do legendary, because whatever. Display. This is where you get to choose the model of the item, what it looks like. So we are going to make a sword. We're going to just go and do this. I just did this a while ago. Make a dagger of the Blood King. That's how we're going to make it look. So we click on the find here, and over here we select item. And we're just going to type Blood King. I think that's all I needed before. Yep, and it'll give you the item IDs. The entry ID is where it's at in the database. So there's two different versions, probably a heroic and non-heroic. And display IDs, which are slightly different. We're going to use the first one, just copy, right-click and copy, and right-click and paste. And just double check to make sure the display ID is selected and not the entry ID. I've never seen it be wrong, but that takes you a second. Bounds is if you want to bind on pickup or whatever. We just want to throw it around, so we're just going to leave that alone. We're going to do weapon, and let's do dagger. Dagger. Equip, one hand, main hand, offhand. If you play WoW, you know what this means. We're going to do one hand. Max count, how many you can have. Damage, this is where you start to get crazy. We're going to make it a ridiculous weapon, but we're also not going to make it too ridiculous. So we're going to put the damage at 10,000 and 20,000. That's not ridiculous at all. We're going to set the speed, the attack speed to 1 second, because anything less than, yeah, it's just too fast. Now, if you really want to have fun, make a bow and set the speed to like 0.1. It's ridiculous. It really is. You go through your ammo really fast. Yeah, talkie, whatever. Yeah, try it sometime. Then you just give it stats. I think you can have a total of 10. So we're just going to give it stamina 100, mana, agility 100, crit. We're just making everything 100. It's because why not? ARP is a big one, if I recall. I haven't been an elitist jerk for quite a while now, so I don't know what's all good. So we got crit. I probably need some hit. Let's go crazy on the hit, because I never want to miss. Yeah, we're not gonna go crazy. Let's do 1,000. I think the cap's like 400 anyway, right? Okay, so stamina, agility, crit, armor pen, hit, crit damage. Is there crit damage? I don't remember. C1, so it must not be one. I can't remember what expertise will do that. I don't remember what stat controlled the crit rate or crit damage. Or was it always double? I don't know. That will require, we're just going to set this to 5. because we don't care. You can change flags, like the type of item it is, who can get it, as far as whatever. They play with around. You know what those mean if you play well. Class limitations, the rogues or whatever race. Add magic resistance. The max is 255 because numbers start at 0. Let's get nature 100 or 50, whatever, just to get it on the list. And add gem sockets. You can have up to 3. Now, okay, let's say I had 2 red here. And I add another one. But then I make it red too. All of them disappear off of this list. So make it yellow. In case I need more hit. You can only have 3. I think you can put a meta gem on here too. I'm not going that crazy. Entry ID, let's make it, my other one was 6,000 or 60,000. Let's make this 60,002. The item IDs go up to 59,000 something for the base. So always start your numbers above 60,000. I start at flat 60,000 and then work my way up. So if you have 100 different items, you have 60,001, 60,002. That way you just know they're all your range. You don't have to mess around with any Blizzard stuff. So you got that all done. You got your item ID, everything like that. So you export it to the database. It says, uh-oh, you're exporting a weapon. And you're like, exporting a weapon, things are not going to work unless you do other things, which is what we're going to do right now. If you're just doing a normal item, I like changing the stats on a normal item. It's a lot easier. We're not doing that. We're creating a whole different item. So we're just going to export. And now that's done. We're done with Trinity Creator. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that. Ta-da! Now, if you're using this repack comes with Heidi SQL already installed. But if you're running on your own, this is where you'd put that host name, username, password, and port number. This one's currently configured for a different WoW server, so we're not using this one. This repack has its own pre-configured Heidi SQL in its own directory. So we're just going to run that. And you see the connection information is different. So you go ahead and connect. And as I mentioned earlier, in this, where it asks for what database, and I said world, this is where that's defined. So in this case, it's world, but if you got like some weird repack, it might say Bubba's repack world. So yeah, if you can't find it, take the database login information, come into here and look and see if it's there. You can pick out which one it is. Okay, so we're in world. We want to expand that. Scroll down to item template. If you know your alphabet. Item template. Okay, so these are all the columns in there. All these define the stats for each item. And if you go to data, these are all the items. There's quite a few of them, as you can tell. And now we're going to go to query, and we're going to look for that item we just created. So we're going to select all is star, from item template. I don't even know if we need this for this program. Where entry equals, this is where we got to remember that number, 60,003, I think I said, right? Then play. Yep, nope, that's not it. Let's try 2. Try 2. Let's try 2. There it is. Name Mudkips. And the entry and all the information there. So that's good. That's important. Don't close, just minimize. So now we have, where did I put that items DBC? Okay, so we're here. we need to go back into the server data DBC folder, find the one that says item DBC, copy. And I think you said before, make a backup directory, whatever. I made a backup directory and just pasted it there. That's a, I broke it. Put it back in and you're back to normal almost. You still need to remove the database stuff, but yeah. So anyway, you're in, you got that copied, paste it somewhere so you can edit it. Now, we can't edit the DBC file. This is what it looks like, right? We can't just edit, we need to convert it first. And we're going to convert it to a CSV file, comma separated. So you take that item DBC and just drag it right over the DBCUtil app that hopefully you downloaded. And it'll create this CSV file for you. I just want to right click on that and open it with Notepad++. And you'll see a lot of stuff here. Okay, there's a lot of items in here. I think there's 49,000 or something like that. So we're just going to drag that down. Oh, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, too far. 46,000. Okay. I need to clear a couple things out of my database before we go any further. I got 2 different instances open here. Let me get rid of that. Okay, now I'm down to 1. Yeah, so let me get rid of this other data I created and forgot about. So just ignore me for a second. Oh. Okay, and we're back. Okay, so we have these entries. This is the stock one. The reason why I had to edit that is because I didn't take, I had some items in the database still that I didn't remove when I reverted back. Just database cleanup. So these are all the items. These are the stock items. So now we need to go in here and pull this data out of the database. So we're going to go back and find my item. Find my item. Found my item. Okay, so there's a lot more information here, a lot more columns than there are in this one. See, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. And there's a lot more than that here. So we need to narrow it down to the 8 we need. Luckily for you, but wait, there's more. I made this easy. There's an SQL file that I already pre-created, so all I have to do is drag it and drop it right in there. And you see it puts all the information in here for you. The only thing you need to change is the entry number. Oops, I'm sorry. And you need to change this from greater than. So let's change the entry number to the number you gave it. It was 6,000, so 60,002. And then hit play. And you have your items information that needs to go into the item DBC. Now we need to get it into that CSV file. No fear, it's real easy. Right click, export, copy to clipboard, output format, delimited text, row selection, complete. Uncheck everything else that it'll allow you to. Change the field separator to a comma. And I don't know if you need to, but I take out the null value. Since nothing should be null, it shouldn't matter, but whatever, just what I do. So now it copies it to the clipboard, hit OK. Minimize Heidi SQL, you're pretty much done with that for this. And then you go back into the CSV file, go to the last line, hit enter, Control V. There's your new item information. And I just backspace to get rid of the extra lines. And then hit save. So we added the item into the database. Now we need to convert this back to a DBC. Now, whoever created this DBC utility, if they're not married, they should get a hold of me. My wife might be upset, but they're a lifesaver. You just take that CSV file, drag it on top, and it'll convert that CSV file back to a DBC. So it says, it's already there. Do you want to overwrite? Yes. This is why you make a backup, because you overwrite it. So now we got our new DBC file. What we need to do now is right-click and copy on that item DBC. And then go back to our repack data DBC folder from the server side. Right-click and paste. Hit yes to replace. If it says you can't write this now, or it's being locked or something, that means you have your world server started. Just go stop it and then paste it. You need to stop it anyway to reload the database, I think. So yeah, that's it. The server side is done. Next, we need to make the client side. I need to take a quick break, so I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. After I finished recording this, I realized that I didn't tell you to put a comma at the end of the CSV file. So before you create the item DBC, and you copy and paste your columns in there, at the very end, if there's no comma at the end, you put one. That way you can make another item down below it. So you don't have to worry about changing what you did already. But if you want to create a new item, put a comma at the end before you go down to the next line. That's it. I should be coming back here in just a moment. And I'm back. That wasn't too long, was it? Okay, so where did we leave off? We finished the server side, if I recall. So now we need to change the client side because the server knows we have this item, but the player, the game that you actually connect from, does not. So we need to make a patch file. That's pretty easy, real easy actually. Go into your mpqeditor, which you hopefully downloaded. And then you hit new, give it a name. Now, I'll drag this over here. Now, when you're doing patches, you want to do them kind of incrementally, probably. You can add them all to the same one if you want. That's acceptable. But I'm doing them separately. So just try to make a number here. We're going to go with Y because I just deleted my Y. So we're going to go with Y again. So patch Y. Patch -Y. And then just hit next, 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 finish. Okay, so we got the database. You see how it popped up here already. Now you want to do new folder. Yeah, new folder. Name. Wait, I got that written down somewhere. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, yeah. Really easy name. DB files client. DB files client. Okay, we got that. And then we just take our item DBC and drag it right in there. There it is. So, and it automatically updates the patch Y. So you can just go ahead and close that. Now you got to get it over to your client system. If you're running both these off the same system, you can just copy and paste it right into the folder. But mine's running on a different system. Luckily, I'm using remote desktop that knows that I can copy back and forth. So, but on your client side, you just go into the WoW folder, data, copy this, the patch Y, and then just paste it right in. Okay, so we got it there. Now I don't know if it has to be in both, but I put it in here too. So I right click, paste. But as you see, it's got the languages there. So I'm going to right click on that, rename it. We're going to put the ENUS in there with the same format as the other one. So patch-y, patch-en, capital US, -y. Now, if I did everything right, it should work. So the MySQL server is already started. So now we're going to start the auth. We're going to start the auth. It says it's started. Start the world server. And let this go through. Hopefully there's no major errors. All right. Your speed will vary here depending on your system. Okay, so now we get the console there. It's all ready to go. So now we'll open up our WoW client. Log in. Log into this guy, girl, whatever. And hopefully remember the ID. We're just going to add item. I think it was 60,002. Yep, Mudkips. And there's Mudkips, my one-handed dagger. Drag it in there. And now I got my dagger with crazy melee stats. Let's find some. Where am I at? I'm outside Wailing Caverns. Oh, I was doing a random dungeon. I hit for 20,000. Is that what it said? I don't have any dagger skills, but I hit that for 13,000. 14,000. 30,000. So you get the idea. It's pretty ridiculous. Now, I made a bow earlier. Oh, I deleted it when I did the setup. But I set the speed up to 0.5 seconds, and it was a Gatling gun of arrows. Yeah, so that's that. You're done. Melee works. I'm pretty sure the abilities work too. Let me just target one, because sometimes that's a problem. Yeah, abilities work. So if you do it this way, you have your new item, your crazy stats. You know how to set the model up and display model. You know how to set it in the database, copy the client files, and hopefully you know the add item command. With Trinity, it's just dot add. Oh, you can't see, my chat's blocked off, but it's just, the command is just dot add item, and then the ID you gave it earlier. So that's just, you won't be able to see it anyway. The font's too small. So that's that. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Maybe I'll do a quick 2-minute video on how I set this server up with this repack. There's another repack out there. It's pretty awesome. It's the single player project, SPP. It works really good. It's based on Mangos though. Mangos, something like that. And I'm not sure the Trinity creator works quite the same with that. I haven't tried. It's a really good repack, but it's rather buggy right now. The random dungeon finder doesn't work, and the bots spit out a lot of errors. Yeah, they say they're going to fix that, and I believe them. They're pretty good. Sometimes a little rude, but yeah, I don't blame them. They get the same questions over and over again. So, yeah. So this one with Trinity Core, it's pretty much the same for all the repacks. I'm not sure about the Mangos projects. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. If you want to see something else, let me know. This is a little bit different topic for this channel, but who cares? It's cool. All right. Yeah. Have a good one.